Hi, it's Mayor Walter Sendzik, and I want to welcome you back to our home of Mayor Sendzik. It has been an extended break. I've missed being here at your home, here in the studios, and it's all due to, obviously, COVID that's happened in our community. I do want to say, first of all, that our community has really risen to the challenge of COVID-19. The last time I was here in studio would have been early March, and pretty much, I think around March 12th, things changed. The world shifted. Our communities changed. Our communities had to respond to something that really doesn't happen. Last time we faced as a community would be 1918 with the Spanish flu. So this is something that is unique to our community. It's something that is unique to communities around the world. But I gotta say, the people of St. Catharines really stood up. They worked together. We've worked very hard as both a city and as a community, and the results are there. When you look at the numbers through the summertime, when you look at the amount of people who are following public health precautions, such as wearing a mask, washing your hands, keeping that physical distance, it all has made a difference. And I think one of the messages that I want to leave people with today is that it's made a difference in ways that you can't actually probably see, because if we didn't do what we were told to do and follow by public health, whether it was here at the region, the province, or the federal government, the results would have been much worse. And if you just look at what's happened in long-term care facilities, the pressures that would have been on the healthcare system would have been overwhelming. And the fact that that didn't take place here in Niagara is all because you chose to be a part of something bigger. You chose to make a difference. You chose to stay home when you were told to stay home. You chose to make sure that you were minding the distance between you and other people in the community. You chose to wear a mask when we said it was important to wear a mask. That's why today, when you look at the numbers, we've been able to keep COVID-19 really contained in our community, and we've been able to unlock our economy as we've worked through the different stages. So I want to say that I'm proud of all the effort that you have made in making our community safe, because when we talk about the front lines, the last line of defense is the healthcare system. The front lines is actually all of us. If we all do our part, if we all continue to do our part, when they talk about a second wave, when they talk about it can come back, it's within our control about if it's a wave or a ripple. And we want to keep it at a ripple as kids go back to school, as university and college comes back to life, all in different ways, all in very secure and safe ways. As our economy comes back to life, we've got to maintain that focus on, again, wear the masks, the physical distancing, washing your hands, and keeping your bubbles really tight. So the longer we do that, the better off we'll be as a community. And today, the people I'm having on the show are really going to be talking about different aspects of how we move towards recovery. We have our CAO from the City of St. Catharines, Shelley Chemnitz, will be joining me in a few moments. And then after the break, we'll have Dorian Anderson from the Niagara Grape and Wine Festival, hence why I'm wearing purple. She'll be talking about what does this year's festival look like. And much like everything else, things are going to look different. They're going to feel different, but it doesn't mean we can't celebrate things and really embrace what makes us unique here in St. Catharines and Niagara. And so I hope you enjoy the show. It's going to be a great one. And first, Shelley Chemnitz, and she is the first female CAO of the City of St. Catharines, which I am very proud to be working beside her. She's been working at the City of St. Catharines now for a number of years. And she's been involved in finance. She's been involved as part of the senior management team. She's a graduate of Brock University. She's a homegrown talent, which we always love to promote when we see people who are born here, raised here, go to school here, reach the kind of level of success that Shelley has with her position as CAO. And so Shelley, when we first sort of figured out what was going to happen, it was under the leadership of Shelley Chemnitz as our CAO, where the city really made a decision to pivot and move towards what would essentially be a shutdown of our facilities and services. And that was and as a member of the community and the senior team, and it was one of those pivotal moments where it was a decision that no one could be prepared for. But I believe that our CAO has led the city in a very strong, empathetic, compassionate way through COVID-19, and it shows both through the level of service, the level of understanding, and how our city staff have responded as well. So I want to welcome Shelley to the show. It's we've been doing a lot of these meetings in a very virtual way, and so I guess first and foremost, the first question that I have for you is, what's it been like for the last 6 months as CAO of a corporation of over 1,000 people? How have you adjusted to it?
Well, I get this question all the time. It's everything but heightened. So I think we're doing what we've always done. We're balancing all of the stakeholders that need us to provide services. We're worried about the health and safety of our community. But everything is that much more heightened because for much of this whole situation, we've had not a lot of information to go on. Information changed, always new guidance, and always much more concerned about how what we as a city was doing was both addressing what our businesses and our residents need us to do, but as well making sure that nothing we were doing was making it harder on our public health and our health system. So balancing and looking to make sure we're using the resources that we have in the best manner possible. So there's been a big workload, but it's been energizing at the same time to see how well our team has risen to the occasion. Everyone talks about preparing and planning, and we think about what kind of protocols do we have in place, what do we have to get ourselves ready. But for me, the most important thing has been that we have a team that's ready to contribute and energized and engaged in the process.
And
right?
I think that's the word team. I visually saw the team come together when you activated the EOC, so the Emergency Operations Center.
Yeah.
So can you explain to the public what the EOC is and why is it important for us?
Right. So in an emergency, you need to react quickly. You need to have all your resources available, and those things of waiting to communicate or waiting to talk or getting together need to be shortened. So we work on the IMS system where we have an emergency control group. We get together in a room and we have everyone there that has their pre-assigned duties. So they may not be the same duties that they perform for the city all the time, but they know that they are either in charge of logistics or planning or the finance part of things or communications or liaising with other organizations. And so we all get together, we've practiced, we know what our individual roles are, and then we go ahead and do what we have to do, right?
Right, so council, there was a declaration of emergency.
Yes.
The region also did a declaration of emergency. And through this course of the summertime, how, from your perspective, where are we now? So it's September. Where are we in terms of the state of emergency in the organization and how we move forward as a city?
Right. So for the city of St. Catharines and the Niagara region as a whole, we're still in a state of emergency. We're in stage 3 of the province's reopening recovery plan. It's not over, so we're managing the stage that we're in, but we're also looking ahead to future stages of recovery. At the same time, if it resurges, if the virus starts to take hold stronger again, we also have our team in place to say, okay, if we have to go back, are we going back to stage 1, stage 2? Yes, the province is always going to give us guidance, but we need to know individually for our city where we are.
Right.
So different from other emergencies, we run almost all of the stages at the same time. So we're at a stage in the emergency, looking to recovery, also looking to say, we call it our advanced planning team. If we have to go back, what did we learn from the first time to make sure that we do better?
And I think that's what's important for the public to understand is it's a constant state of preparation because we don't know the what ifs. And so the scenarios that you're working through with your team are, we're trying to be the best prepared city in case of, because we're still in the middle of COVID-19. And so you talked about recovery. Tell us a bit about what does the next 3 or 4 months, because we're heading into budget, and there's going to be a lot of discussion about the affordability of what we do as a city. So talk about what recovery looks like over the next 3 or 4 months.
Right. So understanding we're still in this, we're still working through those emergency, protocols that we have. But at the same time, we need to get up and running. Our community needs us to be moving ahead of where they are. So we're heading into budget process, which is a great time for this to happen, because one thing COVID has done, I think, for all of us is had us reassess our priorities, reassess where we're spending our resources, where, we all wanted to shut down and at the same time as keep people safe, save the money, because it was a great financial strain on many of us. So now with the budget, this is our chance to now, again, reevaluate those priorities. We have a strat plan. Are we still working on those same things, and do they have the same level of priority? And what are the resources we need to allocate towards them? The state of the economy is precarious. We've restarted, but we haven't restarted. We're not at anywhere close to the level where we were. So we want to make sure, how I had referenced before, we wanted to make sure we're not putting undue strain on the healthcare system. In our budget, we have to make sure we're not putting undue strain on our residents and our businesses who are funding what we're doing. So
Right.
that's that balance.
Right. The key word is balance. Like you've got a great image behind you. The Meridian Center is still closed. The First Ontario Performing Arts Center is still closed, very limited. You've got the need for the aquatic center. People need to be able to continue to do that physical activity. You've got transit that needs to continue to run throughout the city, and yet you've got businesses and residents who are looking at the financial implications of everything that's happened. And so are you optimistic? I guess as the leader of the corporation, are you optimistic about where we're going?
Yeah, I think we've had a sense of optimism all the way through. You spoke about it early on, about how our community has embraced what they needed to do and embraced to say, okay, we need to hold for a while, we need to go home for a while, now we can slowly come out. And I've also been inspired by the staff. We've had essential services staff that have worked the whole way through, and the senior leadership team that has worked the whole way through to go. So I'm optimistic that our heads are in the right places, and but we just need to keep focusing and keep reprioritizing and keep the situation as it changes, keep an eye on things. We keep doing that, then we'll respond to the needs as they come. You can say we did a great job, but you always have to keep refining and keep refining. That's what this has taught us, is that we need to keep doing that. And I think we're on a good path. We all need to keep careful and keep vigilant, but if we keep our eye to the community and the businesses and our staff, we'll manage it well.
Well, I think you've done an outstanding job through something that no one could have prepared for. I keep saying there's no playbook on how to deal with a pandemic. None of us could have went to school to learn how to deal with a pandemic, but you've really stood up and shone as a leader in our community. And I am optimistic. I'm optimistic because of the team that you've put together. I'm optimistic of the fact that our entire corporation as a staff believe that our city is a great place to live and work, and that we're going to continue through all the challenges that may be ahead of us. We're going to continue to do that in a very empathetic and compassionate way. And I'm going to have you back on the show later in 2021, probably in the spring, to talk about the next stages of recovery, because I think what the public is what I want the reader, the viewers to see, is that recovery isn't going to be a 6-month thing. That there's going to be stages, just like stages of the pandemic, there's going to be stages of the recovery, and it's going to be great to have you come back on and talk about what the next stage of recovery is going to look like after we get through the next couple of months. So I want to say thank you for being on the show.
No problem.
It's been a pleasure. And right after the break, we have Dorian Anderson, who's going to be talking to us about the Grape and Wine Festival and all the wonderful things that you can plan in your neighborhood or that you can experience virtually. And it's going to be different, but everyone can get their purple on. Hi, and welcome back to our home of Mayor Sendzik. And we are now joined by someone that has taken hold of the Niagara Grape and Wine Festival and really breathed exciting life into what is arguably one of the best wine and grape festivals in all of North America. It is a mainstay for us here in Niagara. It has become a tourist attraction for wine lovers from around the world to come and experience something that is uniquely Niagara and is centered right here in St. Catharines. And Dorian Anderson is the executive director of the Niagara Grape Wine Festival. She has previously been in the wine and tourism industry for the last 15 plus years. The last couple of years on the helm of the Niagara Grape Wine Festival, she's really brought a new perspective, a new dynamic to animating things like Montebello Park, the grand parade through the downtown, and the interactions that we have with the winery partners. And so this year is different, obviously, and it's different, but it's also an opportunity. And I think Dorian, if there's anybody who can seize an opportunity, it's Dorian Anderson.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And I say that honestly because when you look at what you've done previously in the last couple of years with the festival, you've changed the look of it, you've changed the feel of it, you've changed the energy, and all in positive ways. And it's really continues to evolve into one of those festivals that's a must-attend event. And it's not just for us here in St. Catharines, Niagara, but you were attracting so many people coming from beyond our borders to experience the wine culture that we have here in Niagara. So I want to first say, awesome job.
Thank you.
But now we're in a different time.
We certainly are in a different time.
And this is the 69th festival. Mm-hmm. And there's an anticipation for people wanting to see me wear my purple pants during the parade.
And the purple shoelaces.
And
it's
the purple
amazing.
shoelaces.
Yep.
So I'm wearing this today in honor of Grape and Wine because we will not be having the grand parade on St. Paul Street itself. But tell us how you are adapting to the times that we're in right now.
Well, we have a very creative team. We have a very creative board and some great sponsors. So it was a lot of conversations to see, grab a bunch of ideas from all across those different areas, pull them together, and find ways that we could not only do digital content, because there's a lot of great digital content already out there, but how we could get people to interact with the festival from their own homes. And that's sort of one of the things we've been trying to do with the festival over the last few years is make it something that people really feel a part of and they're not just sipping wine. So the Meridian Porch Parade was one of the first ideas that we came up with. We did a lot of research that in other regions what was happening, and Portland did a really great job with their Rose Parade. So we took that kind of model and went and talked to our friends at Meridian, and they were enthusiastically on board right from the start and grabbed a great committee of their team members together. And essentially, that was our first way to say to Niagara, you can't come down to St. Catharines to watch the parade, so we're going to bring the parade out to you. On the 26th of September, we are going to have a couple different ways that people can interact. If they're in great neighborhood associations, they can still register at niagarawinefestival.com, and we're doing a contest until the 18th. That in neighborhoods that show the most spirit, we're actually going to bring a mini parade through their neighborhood with film crews, and we're going to actually film people on their front lawns watching bands and mascots, and wow. Yeah, so it'll be just a short little mini parade that'll go to probably between 3 and 5 neighborhoods on parade Saturday. And then we're going to be live streaming that with our partners at WeStream, and Cogeco is helping with us as well with Your TV, going to be airing it that day as well as a little bit later, and some additional parade coverage. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're not a neighborhood but just an individual homeowner, you can get your family decorated and dressed like our mayor here in their beautiful purple, decorate the porch, and then snap photos and upload them to our Instagram channel, and they will also be incorporated into the live stream.
So you're telling me that can I be in one of those mini parades with my pants?
Absolutely.
Well, my purple pants.
Absolutely.
Wow, I see. I didn't know that, and I am now even more impressed with how you're bringing to life the parade in different ways.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Some of the Shriners have stepped up with their mini cars, which is one of the things we absolutely wanted to have. I've loved the parade since a child, and that was always my favorite. So they've come on board, and a few other parade favorites. And yeah, 5 different neighborhoods are going to have a mini parade kind of come down their street. And for everybody else, it's kind of like you get to sit and have almost a tailgate party on your front lawn and get pictures with your friends and family. Upload them to the Instagram at Niagara Wine Fest. We'll get you into the live stream broadcast, but also our entire Instagram channel will be focused on the Meridian Porch Parade that day.
That is amazing. So where can people get more information on this?
Our website, niagarawinefestival.com, or be part of our social media channels. We're promoting a lot of information about it.
Okay, and now your partnership with the wineries is probably one of the most important aspects of the entire experience of grape and wine here in Niagara, from the vineyards to the bottle kind of thing. So how are you doing things in a different way? Because Montebello Park is going to be dark. And what I mean by that is there's not going to be tens of thousands of people coming through over 2 weekends to sample the best of Niagara. How have you pivoted in a different way on that?
That was one of the hardest things to do, because the wineries have been amazing at changing their business models and doing winery to home programs, and they've stayed really active and vibrant through all of this. So we took a lot of inspiration and a lot of guidance from them, because throughout our Discovery Pass programs in the past, we generally will send thousands of people to our winery partner locations throughout the years or throughout the season. But this year, that's not a reality, because the tasting rooms, many are still short, or they're more restricted, or they're small tent spaces. So we still are hosting the Discovery Pass program this year, but we have introduced a new reservation system that's powered by RBC. So guests have to pre-reserve their space when they show up, so they can show up to the wineries. They don't have to wait in line anymore. They don't have to worry about crowds of people, because they have their reservation, almost like a dinner reservation. They can go into the winery, they have their 30-minute experience with the winery, and they move on to their next location. So the tasting and experience of the Discovery Pass will be similar. It'll be beautiful VQA wine with seasonally paired food, and a wine expert from the winery telling you about it. But you're not going to be free-flowing between wineries like you used to. We're taking a more responsible approach.
And I think it's a different way of interacting with the consumer and the wineries. And I think one of what I think the public needs to learn more about is how we can support our local wine industry by purchasing VQA wines. And it's one of the most significant ways that we can contribute to the recovery of our economy is the support of our wineries that are local here in Niagara. And that means when you go to a restaurant, purchase VQA wines. That means when you go to the LCBO, purchase VQA wines. That means when you're having friends over, or you're going out with friends, or you're going to their house, bring a bottle of VQA wine. And it's something that I think the festival has done year over year, is highlight the importance of the economy of the wineries to Niagara. It's the tourism side of it, which we're going to miss this year, but you're bringing to life that experience between the two, the wineries and the consumers, and you're bridging it together. Tell us what you're doing downtown St. Catharines with bridging that relationship.
Well, that's our newest part of this year's Grape and Wine Festival, and we're really excited about it. We're partnering with the Economic Development division of the City of St. Catharines, and they approached us and said, we have a really great landlord at the corner of James and St. Paul who has offered up that lot to convert it into a great space for downtown. So we pulled together sort of a marché style space where guests can really visit any day of the week, and without booking in advance or having to pay any fees, they can use the picnic tables for curbside dining. So they can pick up something from one of their favorite restaurants, including a bottle. Oh no, they can't have VQA wine unless we're there because it's not licensed. Sorry about that. But they can pick up some great curbside, and any day of the week, they're welcome to use those picnic tables. But on Friday and Saturday evenings, the Niagara Grape and Wine Festival will be there with one of the GoSip microbreweries every week. And we'll be pouring beautiful VQA wines. There's between 5 and 8 different wines to taste each weekend. And we have live bands as well. So we open up at 5 p.m. We're open until 10, and again, there's no tickets or reservations required. Just come and join us, have a glass of wine, listen to some great music, and right in the heart of downtown. It's a lot of fun.
And doing it in a safe way so that people are having that physical distancing, and it's all making the experience both safe but also entertaining. And one of the key aspects, one of the last aspects I want to touch on is the support of live music. And so you're also bringing in live bands, which anyone who's been to Montebello Park knows that the Grape and Wine Festival has always been that blending of the food and the wine, but also the live entertainment. And so you're bringing that to life on the corner of James and St. Paul as well.
We are, and we're also doing a Center Stage Saturdays program.
There you go.
So that is our live stream on both of the Saturdays that we would have been celebrating in Montebello Park. So we are working with the Performing Arts Center. They are sharing their space with us and helping us to film 4 bands per Saturday that we are going to be live streaming with We Stream again. We did a contest on social media, which was a lot of fun, where we asked bands to post their videos. We got that down to 10 semifinalists, and the public voted for their top 6. So there'll be 3 each weekend, and then we have Jonesy headlining.
I was just going to say, I hope Jonesy's is part of that.
Well, we had Jonesy actually already booked because we
Okay.
can't have Grape and Wine without Jonesy.
Yes.
So they're headlining on Saturday the 19th.
Awesome.
So they go on around 9 o'clock. And then the second weekend, we have the Mandevilles. They're going to be headlining again starting at 9 o'clock. But
Wow.
our live stream starts at 6 p.m., and it's going to be a great combination of live local music as well as some familiar faces from around the community. The first weekend, Brock University's using this to celebrate their homecoming with their alumni. So we'll have some winemakers from Covey. We'll be doing some food and wine pairings with those people. And then we have just lots of fun content from winery personnel and friends around the region.
That's amazing. And so this is the 69th annual Grape and Wine Festival. It's being done in a different way, but as you can see, it is something that is going to be worthy of your time and efforts because the experience is different, but it's new, and it's something that we can all embrace. And so you've got music, you've got wine, you've got food from our local restaurants, and you've got center stage. And so if you're going to be watching online on all the channels that the Grape and Wine Festival has, make sure you go out and buy VQA wines to enjoy bands like Jonesy and the Mandevilles playing amazing music. And if you're downtown, you'll see that St. Paul Street is amazing. We've done, over the summertime, it has been closed to cars, so we've turned it into a pedestrian mall from Friday to Sunday. It has been a huge success, and it's there to support the restaurants. That's it for our first episode of Our Home with Mayor Sendzik. It has been a long time coming, and you're going to see more episodes. Just keep looking after yourself, stay safe, stay healthy, and we're going to get through this together. Take care.